What is up, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today, guys, we are back with a 1/6 scale Hot Toys figure unboxing and review video, and today we are going to be taking a look at Catwoman, my first ever Catwoman. We are doing her version from the movie The Dark Knight Rises, played by the great Anne Hathaway. As you guys know, she was in the third installment of the trilogy, played by Christian Bale. Again, The Dark Knight Rises, so very excited to go ahead and get her unboxed. It's always to me a treat and a pleasure whenever I get to add new figures to the collection that I've never had before. Again, Catwoman being one of them. I am very excited about this figure. If you guys are interested in purchasing Catwoman, I am going to drop the link down to Sideshow Collectibles. I did get her from there, and actually she is available to ship right now, so there are a couple of figures left. If you guys want to go ahead and grab her, you guys should be able to get this figure ASAP. I will let you guys know if this is a figure that is worth buying throughout the course of the video. So again, very excited about this figure. So with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and get started with the review. Starting off with the design of the box as always, guys. So we really don't get too many details on here. So pretty much the main cover, we do get an image of Catwoman, not the actual figure but the actress or the character herself in the movie. We do get in the background pretty much the logo of that third movie, so I think it's a wallpaper and pretty much it's buildings, and in the sky we get the form of the Batman logo. In the bottom we do get the name of the figure along with the Dark Knight trilogy logo as well, and a couple of logos like DC, Hot Toys, etc. And pretty much the background of the whole box is in kind of like this gray and black color. On the right and left side we do get a DC logo at the bottom, a Dark Knight trilogy logo in the middle, and pretty much a black background surrounding the box. So as you guys can see, not a lot of details on this box. In the back side we get pretty much all the warning and legal information by Hot Toys. We get the name of the figure on the left and the Dark Knight trilogy logo again on the right side. As I mentioned before, not a lot of detailing when it comes to this box itself, so pretty much very unfortunate about that. But I will say this, the main cover to me, it does look nice. A big fan of it, so I will say off to a good start with this first box design. Get into the second box. So as always with all these Hot Toys figures, we pretty much get a clear view of the figure itself right there. Pretty much we get the Batman logo at the bottom and a Catwoman logo at the top. This box is kind of like a little bit more dark grayish instead of black. Now on the sides and in the back we pretty much get an image that pretty much crosses over, and it's pretty much this time the figure of Catwoman with her bat pod. With Batman's bat pod, and then we do get a Dark Knight trilogy logo again at the bottom. So this time we do actually get the figure in the cover, not the actual character herself. And here on the right side again, that image pretty much crosses over to the other side. Now sadly I don't have the bat pod, right, so I'm not going to be able to post the figure with the bat pod itself, but at least this does look pretty good, and I do like the imagery in the back. Unfortunately, it is a little bit too dark for me, so not a lot of detailing. Now, at the top and the bottom of the box, we pretty much get once again the Dark Knight trilogy logos, a black background, and of course the name of the figure here at the bottom, along with Hot Toys DC and a movie masterpiece logo. So pretty much that would be it for the box design. Not a lot of detailing, but I would say it still looks pretty good. I just think that it could have included a little bit more things on it. Now we get to the figure itself. So as I mentioned before, pretty excited about this unboxing. Again, my first Catwoman ever, so it's always a treat to get a new figure to the collection. And again, I am a big fan of the Dark Knight trilogy, just like with the Raimi Spider-Man movies. I grew up with these movies, so very excited about this one. First thoughts on the figure itself. She looks good, but I have already found some flaws on her. We will discuss those a little bit later on in the video. And I have heard a lot of controversial or a lot of different opinions on her, so we will definitely address those throughout the video. But I would say for now, off to a good start. I really can't hate on the figure yet, but it's not perfect, right? There are some flaws on her, and I will discuss those a little bit later on in the video. But I would say I guess I can say we're off to a good start, right? Not a bad start at all. So happy to have her for sure, right? So those would be my initial thoughts, right? As you guys know, after this, we're going to go ahead and get started on the accessories. We'll do a couple of side-by-side comparisons. We'll review the figure in detail. And then at the end, we'll do a couple of poses to end the video. Okay, starting with the accessories. So basically with the accessories, we don't get a lot of things, which is understandable, right? At the same time, Catwoman, she is a pretty important character throughout the movie, but it's not like she's in enough scenes where we get to see her using different accessories, right? Obviously, she does use the Bat Pod, which is Batman's Bat Pod, in some scenes, right, at the end of that movie. But it's not really hers, and also it's not like they release a new Bat Pod along with the figure itself. So I guess I understand the lack of accessories, but the good thing is that Hot Toys did decide to at least cover up those mixing accessories with that huge display base that you guys can see there. And I did go ahead and split up different parts so that way we can discuss each part individually, and then we'll go ahead and put them together pretty much at the end when we do the posing. But we do get some different hand displays. So what things to me about the hand display, so these are the hands that do come on the figure whenever we unbox them. So pretty much they're just wide open resting hands, and I really like the design of them. As you guys can see, there are a couple of scratch marks, and pretty much the glove itself is kind of benting, so I do like that. It kind of shows motion on those hands, and I do like the, I guess, the shape of the hands. I can tell they're, lady girl hands, right? So I do like that. This hand specifically is to hold the pistol that the figure comes with. I am upset that we only get one hand for the pistol, so we're only going to get an option to hold that pistol with one of the hands, and that's going to be on the right side. As I mentioned before, the texture and the coloring and the way that they're made, I really like them. They're really nicely made, and again, I can tell they're girl hands. These two hands right here do kind of have a hole in between those fingers where it's supposed to be holding something. I would say it could be the pistol, but it could also be Batman's mask, which we will discuss a little bit later on. But again, these two hands do come on it, and as I mentioned before, the texture and the way that they're made, I am really a big fan of them, so no issues with those hands at all. And then the last two hands are pretty much just going to be closed fist. Me personally, I'm not sure about the idea of including closed fists on this, right? I guess it's nice to include them, but I still don't think that they were really needed. I would have preferred for Hot Toys to include other kind of motion type of hands for different accessories. And then speaking of the pistol, as I mentioned before, it does come with it. Not a lot of not a lot of detailing on this pistol. As you guys can see, it just pretty much is plastic, right, made. I'm glad that it does come with it. Again, at least we get something that we can post a figure with, so it does come with that. And then lastly, we do get Christian Bale's Batman mask, right? So obviously, this Catwoman is pretty much being represented in that scene wherever she takes Batman to meet up with Bane, and obviously pretty much Batman gets beat up pretty badly and his mask does get broken, so it does come with it. It is very detailed. It has a lot of scratch marks and a lot of pretty much benting and broken pieces, so I do like how it looks. I think it looks really, really nice. We get to the display base. So pretty much the display base is pretty much the big main event of the whole accessories, and again, I really love this display base. It is one of my favorite display bases that I have ever seen from Hot Toys. So pretty much, as you guys can see, we get a Catwoman nameplate in the middle. We do get these pretty much kind of like lower steps, I guess if I could call them, that are supposed to stretch down if you guys kind of want to have this display base be a little bit taller. I love the flooring. The flooring looks so legit. I love the paint applications and the way that it's made. It looks really, really good. This part right here is supposed to pretty much represent kind of like water, right, or river, a creek pretty much. I love the paint applications as well. The white part kind of shows the water being kind of foamy, so it looks really, really good, and it is supposed to go attached below the main display base. So to me, it looks fantastic. I cannot wait to put all of this together, and I will do that once I do the posing and final thoughts part of the video. So it does come with that, and then it does come with this part as well that also goes connected to the main display base. It is supposed to go connected on the back, and it's supposed to be standing tall behind the figure. A lot of detailing, as you guys can see with the paint application. Some parts are kind of painted off, right, and I think I'm glad about that because it does look this way throughout the movie, so pretty legit. And again, this display base is supposed to be representing I do apologize, I forget the name of the place where they go, but it's pretty much where Catwoman takes Batman to meet Bane for the first time, right? And then these rails right here do go connected on each side of the display base as well. So pretty much every single piece does go connected to the main display base, right? Again, as I mentioned before, I really love the way that they're made and sculpted. It looks absolutely legit and amazing. And then we also get these two chains that also go connected actually these go connected to to that big part that, you know, I guess the wall, if we can call it that. It goes connected on the wall, and then they're supposed to kind of go around the rails, so that way they look, I would say, much better, right? If I can say it that way. So it is supposed to be doing that, and to me, I have no issues with it. Again, as I mentioned before, I can't wait to put these things together so that way we can see the display base all together. So pretty much this would be it for all of the accessories. As I mentioned before, not a lot of things, but again, the big main event is that huge display base that looks amazing. So I would say off to a good start again. Ladies and gentlemen, we get to Catwoman. So as I mentioned, whenever I unboxed her, this figure is not perfect. It does have its flaws. I do like her either way. I think it's a good figure. I'm not going to go as far as to say that it's a horrible figure and that I regret buying her. Not at all. I like her. It's a good figure, but it's got its flaws. So let's first start with the face sculpt. And to me, the face sculpt is it's a negative. So unfortunately, it does not look a lot like Anne Hathaway. It is a good face sculpt. I will say this: if Hot Toys had just decided to do like a random Catwoman figure and they decided to use this face sculpt, I like it, honestly. It looks really nice on the body. It's a great Catwoman head sculpt, but obviously Hot Toys is known for authenticity. They're supposed to be doing legit, you know, figures, and to me the face sculpt doesn't really look a lot like Anne Hathaway. Also, the way that the sculpted hair, I'm sorry, not the sculpted hair, but the rooted hair goes connected on the face, it's really not that very well connected. I do like the skin tone, the lips, the nose look nice. The eyes, there's something about the eyes that I just can't get my head around. As far as the rooted hair, it is my first time ever having a figure with rooted hair, and honestly guys, I've had my struggles because that the glasses or the mask, right, you guys technically can remove it, but the instructions do say not to, and I really would recommend not to do it. I tried to remove them before I did this video, and it did kind of really mess up the hair a little bit for me, so that was a mistake on my part, right? But again, as I mentioned before, the skin tone is nice, the lips, the nose, I think they're sculpted very well. I do think the face is a little bit too wide in my personal opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. The suit itself, I like it. I like the suit a lot. I like the way that it's made, the fabric, it's really nice. I can tell that no matter how I pose this figure, it is not going to get damaged in any way. As far as the long gloves that go all the way to her, almost her shoulder, thank God they're not pleather. These things are sculpted plastic, so what that means is that they won't get damaged, and no matter how I pose the figure. And also they're pretty easy to bend. Same thing with the belt, sculpted plastic, so there's no way that this can get damaged either. And the rest of the suit pretty much made out of fabric, kind of like a stealth suit, if I can say it that way, and it is really nicely made, so I have no issues with the suit itself. Now the boots, so I want to apologize from the start, guys. I really don't know the actual material of the boots because I'm thinking it's pleather, right? But I've seen other collectors and their reviews, because I do like to, you know, at least kind of not cheat, but at least kind of get other opinions just to make sure that I'm not way off with mine. And I thought it was pleather just because of the looks of it, but I guess it's not, right, from what other collectors say. But still, in all, it is going to be hard not to tear the suit because number one, she has high heels, right? So with the high heels, those boots could get bented sideways at any point, and I am really concerned that I'm gonna break it. As you guys can see right there, see, we're able to move the foots, right? But again, right there, that material could get damaged, and I am really concerned about that. So me personally, if you guys are going to get Catwoman, I would try not to pose her as, you know, as weirdly as possible. Try to have her standing still. I mean, with the boots, she does move nice, so the articulations are not bad, but still in all, I feel like with overtime the material could get damaged. Right here, as you guys can see, it does bend right there at the top part of the leg, but the good thing is that the material of the actual suit itself won't get damaged, so that is a positive. The hands, pretty much with the articulations, they really don't move that up, right? And I'm okay with that. Again, I really don't think we need to move the hands up. Now forward and backwards, they do move a little bit more compared to sideways, so that's good. And as I mentioned before, right, because of the material of the suit, I don't expect this figure to get damaged from the top, right? Only from the boots. They do move back pretty easily, so no issues there whatsoever. The face itself, since it is connected pretty much to a ball point on the neck, it is you guys can pretty much twist it any way you want to. Obviously, you guys want to be careful with that rooted hair that is on the head sculpt, so always be careful with that. It does go up and down a little bit, right? So I guess that's a positive. And the body itself does go front and back also a little bit, so at least you guys have a little bit of motion going on with this figure. Again, I really don't think with this figure we're really going to need that much motion. I would really recommend try to have her standing still as much as you guys possibly can, so that way she does not get broken in any way. Now we have for second look. So now I have brought down the goggles, so if you guys want to call it that, or the sunglasses, whatever you guys want to call it, down to her eyes. And this is the second look that you guys can try on the figure. Pretty much this is the look that she has whenever she uses the bat pod. Obviously we don't have the bat pod, but still in all, we do have this option if you guys want to give it a shot. This would be the second look. Or the third look is if you guys remove the whole mask, right? Again, as I mentioned before, I tried it before starting this video. I almost destroyed the hair, so I really wouldn't recommend doing it, but it is up to you guys. That is another look that you guys can try on, but this would be the second look. I like it, but I do prefer the first look. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, which is the better look for the figure. Now for the side-by-side comparisons, guys, sadly we only have one. So from this movie itself, I actually don't even have any legit figures. My only figure from the trilogy would be this Warner Bros 100-year anniversary Batman with the gray and blue suit. Obviously a lot of controversies with that figure, right? But I guess it's still Christian Bale, so I guess I might as well do a side-by-side comparison. Again, unfortunately I don't have the regular Christian Bale suit or any other figures, but thankfully that will change. Stay tuned. I do have some figures coming up from those movies, from the Dark Knight trilogy, but at least I did want to do this comparison. So obviously these two characters are tied up together in that third movie, and I really love the chemistry that these two characters had throughout the movie. It was great to me, and I love both actors. Christian Bale and Anne Hathaway, to me, did a fantastic job in the comments. I do wonder which is the best Catwoman, because obviously we've had this one, we've had the 1989 Batman, right, as well. I really like Anne Hathaway, my personal opinion. I think she did a great job in the movie, as well as Christian Bale. Again, sadly, this is my only side-by-side comparisons. Thankfully, in the future, this will change once I start getting more figures from the trilogy itself. But for now, this would be the only side-by-side comparison that I have at the moment. Okay, guys, so now we have reached the end of the video. Pretty much, I am posing Catwoman in different ways, and I am going to give my final thoughts on her. So pretty much I would say this is a good figure. I don't think she's bad, and I also don't think she's perfect. I would say positives for sure is the display base. I would say the rooted hair, I actually really like the rooted hair a lot as well, so I think that is a positive. The suit itself and the gloves to me are positives as well. So again, there's some positive things about this Catwoman. Again, this is a reissue, by the way. This is a 2.0. She had been released years ago, so this is a reissue. And I've seen images of the first figure, and to me, this is an upgrade for sure. And it does have its positive things, so I think this is a good figure. Now, negatives to me, two things. Number one, the face sculpt. Unfortunately, she does not look like Anne Hathaway a lot, and also it doesn't have any rotating eyes either, right? So that is a negative, and I would actually think the boots are a negative as well. Man, I am really afraid of that material. I just feel like if I bent the figure in a weird way or something, it's gonna tear apart, and I really don't want that. I'm gonna try to have the figure stand still as much as I possibly can to avoid any damage in the future. Maybe I'm being a little bit extra, but again, I just like taking care of the figures, right? So I will try my best not to pose the figure in a weird way, so that way I don't, jeopardize the figure from being torn apart in any way. But pretty much the figure itself, it's a good figure. I'm glad I have her. I'm glad that I finally get a Catwoman in my collection. I'm sad to know that I'm still really low in that on the Dark Knight trilogy collection. But as I mentioned before, I do have some figures coming up, like Bane, the Joker with the rooted hair, the Armory Batman. So eventually the collection for the Dark Knight trilogy will be growing slowly but surely. So always stay tuned in for the next upcoming videos, as I do believe Bane is coming soon. So again, as I mentioned before, the figure is great. By the way, one quick correction that I did want to make. So whenever I talked about the hands, right, for the figure, there was two hands that came that had pretty much closed fists but with holes in between the fingers where it's supposed to hold on to something. I forgot to mention those hands, I believe, are meant for the bat pod, right? Obviously I don't have the bat pod, right, so I'm not able to display the figure in that way, but I think that those hands are meant for the bat pod, right? So just a quick correction. So pretty much that is all that I have for you guys. As I mentioned before, good figure, right? Let me know what you guys think in the comments, if this is a good figure, if this is a pass, or if it's something that you guys want to go ahead and buy. If you guys do want to go ahead and buy her, I will include the link to Sideshow. I do believe she is ready to be shipped, so if you guys want to go ahead and grab her. As always, guys, want to thank you for the continued support. Thank you for always watching my videos. If it is the first time that you're watching me, feel free to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and also hit the notifications bell so that you are always updated with any videos that I drop in the future, guys. For now, this will be it for this Catwoman 2.0 unboxing and review. Thank you once again for tuning in, and I will see you next time.